The sky and water makes this beach beautiful, but it's not what makes the painting special. It comes from this twisted tree and the tree shadows across the sand. I am Beatriz. Welcome back to the studio. Today we're painting a beach scene, but instead of relying only on the water, on the ocean, we're gonna add the tree and the shadow to make the whole painting feel more alive and more complex. So let's start painting. Before I start painting, I am masking the white foam and the sea and the lightest areas of the tree trunks. This will let me paint the sky and water freely without worrying about losing those bright shapes. And now my masking has dried, I can go ahead and start painting the sky freely. I'm gonna wet all the way till the horizon line, and then cobalt blue. I'm gonna start here in the middle, lighter to the bottom. We apply the cobalt blue darker in the top. I don't care if I put it on top of my tree trunks, they're gonna go darker, so that's okay. Why am I doing this? Well, because this is gonna give us distance, like that part of the sky is farther away. So I apply it good have the color with the brush that is only damp. I start spreading the color so that I can have a seamless transition. It's better if we allow this to dry by itself, because more blending will continue to happen than if I interrupt it now with say my hair. Now that the sky is dry, I just gonna drop some water. I don't want my trees to be half blue and half white. I'm gonna drop a little bit of water to allow the fibers of my cotton paper, I always paint on cotton paper, to open. And once they open, I will lift some of this blue. As always, the paint along pack for this painting will be inside Patreon. If you want the tracings, final reference image, colors used, etc. If you click on this QR code, it will take you there, but I will also link it in the pinned comment. All right, so we wait a tiny little bit. Just go with the tissue. My line here is not as sharp as it used to be. I don't want it to go all to white. I just want it to go a little bit lighter and take away that line. Okay, I'm gonna start with our ocean. I'm gonna wet as well because I'm gonna have a couple colors that I want them to blend in the paper. With French ultramarine, this is the one by It's Minky, and we're gonna put it right on the horizon line. That's gonna be our darkest part. I'm gonna start making it brighter by bringing turquoise. Then I come back with the French ultramarine because I want these two to blend in the paper. So I alternate between that one and this one. Bring them here, trying to create distance. And yes, usually things that are far away look lighter, and things that are closer to us look have more color, etc. But this is different. This is the ocean. The farther away, the deeper the water, so more water, more blue. The foam safe with a masking, and now as the water gets into the sand, it will be more and more of the turquoise color because it will be shallow. Trying to create the impressions of a calm sea. We don't want a whole lot of waves or nothing like that. So we blend. Then now that this is drying a little, if you want to, you can come with French ultramarine that is a little bit stronger, less diluted, and put a line or two here. It still is wet. My paper has not lost the shine. So this will stay in place, but it will continue to blend with the other one. I'm gonna do the same thing, but with the turquoise, more turquoise, less water, and I'm gonna put some underneath this foam around here too. Again, I still have shine in my paper, and then I'm coming with more paint and less water on my brush. And this is how I'm able to do a little bit of this. Put a little bit of a turquoise line next to that one, and we're gonna allow, because now I'm losing most of my shine, now we're gonna allow this to dry naturally by itself. My water is almost dry, so now with very diluted French ultramarine and a little bit, very tiny little bit of burnt sienna, I'm making myself a very diluted gray, bluish gray, so that we can put the part of the sand where it is wet. Now apply it all the way from here to where the other foam is forming right before the dry sand. Farther away, because I want to create the sense of distance, I also go a little bit lighter. I mean, of course, they are smaller, but also a tiny little bit lighter right there. And I'm sure you can hear it. I got birdies that make a nest right in my window. So right now they want to eat and they keep chirping. So hopefully it won't be too bothersome for you. I'm gonna bring a tiny little bit more brown sienna to my mix, and then I'm gonna put some of that one right underneath this this foam, this line of foam that is breaking into the sand. But as I get further away, I cool it down, and then I just make it bring more blue, and then make it a little bit more grayish. And then I come again, once again, with my original gray. This distant part I'm gonna wet slightly, and then bring the same colors a little bit out. So far we had the sky good and the ocean too, but everything else feels flat. So let's start warming up the sand so that everything starts feeling connected. So right now our painting looks very attractive and peaceful. Our sky is peaceful, so is our sea, our ocean. So now I'm wetting all the area of the sand, and we're going to start bringing a little bit of water. Start by applying the Monte Amianta Natural Sienna by Daniel Smith, or any natural sienna that you're making it from halfway here, darker, and then as I go away, lighter, because we want to create distance. I'm going to bring it right to the edge of our wet sand. Warming it up a little bit with brown sienna. But the majority of the color, it continues to be the natural sienna or raw sienna. Some of these are gonna be grasses, but the sand will be between them. So we're covering it up. By the way, when you paint a beach scene, which part gives you the most trouble? The water, the foam, the sand? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see which one comes up the most. Well, this is wet. I'm gonna come with a little bit of that color, and I'm gonna drop some over here, the one that makes it a little bit wet. You know, the water waves and flows, so some of that wetness will be here too. Okay, now with the raw sienna and a little bit of olive green, I'm gonna make myself greenish yellow to do the distant grasses. We are not gonna put a lot of detail. These grasses are not here for that. They are here to give a sense of distance. Here at the bottom, I'm just gonna go with a little bit of water so it's not so sharp. And while we allow this first layer to dry, it's a great time for us to remove the masking that is in the foam of our ocean. It's looking really good. Since I have the colors from there, let's just put some over here, which will be where the grasses are, the ones closer to us. It will be the same color, some of them lighter than others. I like to go with my brush and go zigzagging, lower, then get a few taller to the same color, but adding a little bit of brown umber. Let's just darken a little bit here at the bottom. It will be all the grasses. Some of them will be taller than others, so it'll be more light coming, but at the bottom it's always darker because all of them grow from the same part. Right. So now, same colors that I was having, but with a little bit extra olive green, and we're gonna drop a few shadows to continue to be far away, give the sense of distance. Rinse and tap so that they blend a little bit. And now with burnt umber and neutral tint, I'm going to darken a little bit of this, but I'm going to do a little bit of negative painting. We will allow some of the lighter grasses to show. Let me show you. So I go with a little bit of dark, but I allow some of the underpainting to show. Go with a little bit of water, and voila. Always darker at the bottom, by the way. Between one and the other, just go with the brush that only has water and bring it up. I want to do it especially here in this part that is going to be more in shade, so I come with the darker color. First wet a little so this is not so sharp. Bring the color, the darker colors, then allow some of these other lighter ones to show in between these ones, therefore creating some of these taller grasses. Then go with water. However, all this part here near to the tree trunks needs to get darker. Just allow a little bit of that negative painting to show some of these tips of the taller grasses. Go like that. Bring some of the darker colors close to these ones. Get a brush and then just blend some of that. And at this point, the beach could be called finished, but not quite yet in this painting. And this is what is going to make our painting look different, because so far everything looks nice and peaceful, but by adding this different tree and the shadows, then we're starting to add a little bit of drama without changing the calm feeling that this painting has. I put masking in the highlights of my trees because I wanted to paint my sky freely. But now that that is done, I can go ahead and remove it. I'll put in a little bit of this brown sienna right next to my highlights. I do a little bit at a time, so a little bit of that. Then I have one mix that I did with burnt umber and French ultramarine. And then I'm going to put it right next to that one. And allow both of them to blend. As I come over here, bring some of that one to the edge, blend these two, and then let's just bring some of that one out. Put the tap and hold for a minute since I have these colors on my brush. Let's just go with the one that has the brown sienna, then switch to the one that has the brown umber and French ultramarine. Bring it close to the edge. I don't want this tree to be decorative and all pretty. Quite the opposite is the irregularity of the shape of the tree that breaks the calmness of the ocean, the beach, etc. With a thinner brush, I'm gonna go ahead and start bringing some of these. I see these branches go from more to less. All right, and continue to give them irregular shapes, more to less. I keep alternating between the one that has more brown sienna and the one that has more of the gray. While they're wet, bring them obviously here at the bottom. They will be receiving less light, so this will get a little bit darker. Let's drop a little of the darker color while this is wet, and then let them blend freely. Maybe that can be a little darker. And now we continue to do the rest of the tree. This is very repetitive work, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward all of this. You can see me doing it, but I won't bore you. As you can see, the ocean and the sky is giving us the calm, and this tree, this twisted tree, is what is giving the personality. I'm coming, well, of course, the light and shadow of the tree is also allowing us to see it more. So I go with the thin brush, get down. Mark the darkness, especially when it goes from one edge to the next. All of these are a little too even, so I'm coming with a brush, a very thin brush with the darker colors of all, and then we're gonna add a few here and there, just to make it more realistic, more believable. So now it's time to start putting our shadows. Our tree has changed the silhouette, but our shadows is what is going to bring them into the sand as well. I go with the same colors that I was using for the trees, a little bit diluted, drop a little, and then spread it out so that it gets a little bit lighter to give us variation. grasses are also going to put a little bit of shadows here and there. So let's just bring them down. Go with a little bit of that. And then rinse that with water, bring it inside the grasses. And do a couple of them here too. These probably are a little too dark, but that's okay. Go right away with water and they'll be okay. I am not only dropping the shadows here to feel the sand darker, I am dropping them to feel the untouched sand feel brighter. As we paint around here, we're gonna be doing a little bit of negative painting for our grasses. We don't need to paint every single one of them, but if you go and leave some of these lighter colors appear, then our taller grasses will appear as well. We're trying to also replicate a little bit of those little twisted branches that will cast their shadows in the same way that they are. So let's just drop some of those here in there too. And as I get closer to here, there will be some shades that the tree is putting, but also we need to make them around these grasses. So, and then all of these will connect to the trees around here. Get closer to us, I want it to be a little bit more on the warmer, more bluish. So I'm coming with that color first. Again, give me a stopping point so that I can work on that. Then we will revise this. Let's do like if I'm coming in an angle, some of these ones will be like this. There'll be a couple come like that. And all of this will be dark. So first I go with the brown, I switch to the more blue, and then I let them blend together. These shadows need to make sense with the tree. We're gonna come in a minute and put a little bit of greenery together. So I'm trying to see where I will leave the sand and where my shadows will be. So the shadows, therefore the shadows needs to feel connected to the tree as if they are reflections. The sun is casting them, or some of the shapes they are into the tree trunks, etc. Therefore I come and with my thin brush and I put a few of those thin branches that we were having over there. Not overdoing it, but here and there it will be good to have them. I'm just gonna have a couple finishing touches. I'm gonna put a little bit of greenery, very, very little. I'm gonna put a little bit here. This is my perylene green. Go a little bit with that. Just touch with water. Impressions. Have that come with the perylene, and then drop it here and there. Like if they are higher up, and those are casting shadows. Then rinse your brush. Rinse some of the sap green. Touch, and that's all for that. Same water, same beach, but add one tree and the shadows and the whole painting changes. A little bit of burnt umber with the neutral tint by Sminke. Put a few close next to the lighter color, the ones of the grasses that we've been trying to stick up like this, and put a couple more detail, like maybe something's sticking up, like they are some are taller than others. Okay, my hands are yellow light, and then I'm gonna come full strength, very little water and a lot of the color. And then I'm gonna put a couple of those coming here too, like getting some of those things for the grass. The thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet a little bit here. I don't wanna disturb all of these things that I work so hard. That's why I'm wetting. Because I'm gonna come here with a little bit of the burnt sienna just to warm this up. Then go with my water. I'm only gonna bring it a little bit here too. That way all this area feels like it's closer and the other one is a little bit farther away. But I'm coming very, very diluted, and I just barely gonna touch it. All right, and now we are gonna call this done. I love how this painting feels calm and relaxing, but the tree in the shadow still gives it a little bit of drama that makes it feel more special. I hope that you enjoy painting this with me. As always, the paint along pack is inside Patreon. I will link that below. I thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.